Hey everybody, happy Friday to you. Another severe weather outbreak is possible for May 25th, 2024. A moderate risk was issued for parts of Oklahoma and a good portion of Kansas, including Wichita and Oklahoma City. The tornado parameters are also pretty much maxed out. Now, I don't know if they're going to upgrade this to a high risk. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an expansion of this 15% further up into more of Kansas, like maybe in this general area, and we get like a high risk in Oklahoma and on the Kansas border because, and I'll show you the models here in a minute, they're maxed out. Like they're extremely high. Wind damage is also for a line of storms that will form up here later in the day after the supercells in Oklahoma come through. That's when that kind of wind that will primarily take place in Wichita and Kansas. And then, of course, we have the hail threat, which is less significant of a threat compared to the tornadic threat. So, speaking of that, we head on over to the NAM models. These are the supercell composite or values that could promote supercell growth. And we are in over 50. We're over 50, which is indicating extremely high values in the reds and pinks and even like whites, basically. And this now, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this general area got a high risk tomorrow. Something like this got high risk, and the moderate got expanded further up here. Because we're starting to get isolated values up here, even of high values. Let's look at the significant tornado parameters, and I mean, just look at this. So we have the rest of tonight, and that'll fizzle out. Tomorrow's heating. You can just see these values explode, and I'll show you the radar too. I mean, just look at that. Values in the 20s, which are way over 10. Like, we have a 20, 28, 34. And this is for significant tornadoes, EF2 plus. Look up updraft helicities or long track storms. You can just kind of see, like, use the track, like the actual tracks. You can just see. It is saying that these are going to have long track, kind of violent storms. But this model, the NAM 3 kilometer has it more over here, and the higher values are further over here. This also isn't fully maxed out. If I run this further, you can see these long tracks, and these are supercells that fire up. And if they do, you can see how intense they get with that deep red to pink, which indicate long track storms. Surface cape or storm juice will be ridiculously high in the 3 to 4,000, maybe even 5,000s, as this comes up into Oklahoma, providing an extremely unvolatile atmosphere for violent long track tornadoes. And that's not everything. If we take a look at shear, which is what creates spin, I mean, everything tomorrow is high. Now, let's look at the K index, which is like basically a lifted index, and that does show over here for storm initiation over here rather than what it was saying over there. Let me show you the radar really fast here. So the rest of tonight, storms will move out of eastern Oklahoma and move into Arkansas with a primarily damaging wind threat. And then it goes quiet. Tomorrow morning, you can see initial supercells begin in Texas, way down here. And these will track off to the east in that extremely volatile atmosphere in this area. that was setting up in eastern Oklahoma for the past few days. We can see this storm will become the dominant supercell, but by the time this gets to almost the Oklahoma-Texas border, you can see it, more storm initiation up here will start, and this will go into overnight most likely. You can see this is painting out a more tornado. This is painting out for Oklahoma a tornado outbreak. Supercell, 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 supercell. And then in Kansas, you can see I'm not centered in. There's that Boeing segment for damaging winds. That's why they have that 45% I had showed you, and that will move. That'll slide right through. Now, you look at this is a slightly different radar. This is actually showing it not as bad. You can see these are small cells. Let me see if the HRRR is updated enough to. It's only at 13 out of 18. Let me go to the one previous run. Let me see. Alright, whatever. So let's just go back to the NAM 3 kilometer, because this is what. But this is what the radar could look like. If the HRRR was updated, I will show you a much higher resolution frame by frame of it. But, I mean, there's not much else I can say. Here's the shear, which is what also promotes. Like, I already went over this. It is just ridiculously high. Over 100 in some areas, which is high. Significant tornado parameters just explode. And if the storm initiation is right over here, then when they explode, they're going to be in an extremely favorable atmosphere. And as they move east, they're going to still be in an extremely favorable atmosphere. And that's only going to get more favorable as they continue moving east. You can see by this point, there are storms in Oklahoma. And these would be sitting in an extremely high area, like 32, 25, 15. It would be sitting in an extremely high area for violent, long-track tornadoes. What else could I show you, I guess? The SCP hasn't updated anything, so no high risk yet. I'll post on my TikTok if that happens. Or YouTube short, so make sure you watch that. If that gets updated. I mean, there's not much else I can really show you. I mean, the 12 kilometers is kind of more of a higher thing. I wish the HRRR was updated. Let's see. This shows. This shows the beginning of it, like when the initiation begins and the atmosphere begins to set up. 14 out of 18. We can go to the 18Z run. This is extremely old, but like, this is the 18Z. But this is, I mean, this HRRR is even saying this. Like, that is high. That is high. I would not be surprised if they issue a high risk tomorrow. I really wouldn't. So I mean, I'm gonna go to a previous run ago. I mean, like, you can see. I'm gonna leave you with this final screen. This is kind of a shorter video because I'm not going over like the future. This is just kind of a really short-term thing. I'm gonna leave you with this picture right here for like the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe as it helps promote my channel and the algorithm for people that need information like this. Because, I mean, tomorrow could be an extremely bad day for tornadoes. I mean, people, like, towns could be impacted. So the more subscribers I get and I can warn, the more that people can receive help. Besides that, I will see everybody in the next video. Goodbye.